Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for joining us again on our weekly, uh, let's call it our weekly getting together, but also a weekly synchronizing with what is unfolding. So, as we indicated several months ago, in fact, probably 2 years ago now, that we may experience failures in the banking system, collapsing in the banking system. Well, what do you know? It's begun. It's now begun in the USA, in Silicon Valley Bank, and that was on Friday, and we may find the repercussions of that now on Monday, or maybe later on today, on a Sunday, once the Asian banks and markets are open. So these circumstances are unprecedented. It is not about bailing the banks anymore because there is nothing left to bail. So sooner or later, you will find that this is going to affect people like you and I in one way or another. And this is mainly going to be towards in the Western world as opposed to the Eastern world, Africa, Asia. Most of that part of the world will be okay. But it will be the Western world that will suffer most of all. It's important for individuals, those who are wise and aware, to make sure they have a little bit of cash at home. They make sure that they have food, water, and the supplies. And if nothing happens, great. But if something happens, you'll be glad that you prepared. So far, we have not been off the mark. We warned you of the impact of taking the um, irreversible medical intervention and the impact of that before it even began. And now you're starting to see that what we were speaking about is now starting to become very much the facts of the situation. One, that the whole thing was orchestrated. Two, it was deliberately created in order to create fear, in order for individuals to take an untested um, medical intervention, which is irreversible. And the impact of that irreversible is now starting to be felt in many, many ways, in many, many different places. So we were right on that mark. We are right on the mark of the food crisis, the energy prices, the energy costs, and now I am pretty sure that we will be on target with the financial and the banking situation. So April, May, June, July, August, September, these 6 months are like a crescendo. Things are just increasing. Things are just increasing in terms of finance, banking wobbles, banking systems starting to become a little bit dysfunctional. And when this happens, it is up to the prudent observer to make sure that, you know what, you can't eat money, so it's better to have a bit of food at home. The ongoing changes that we are all in, and as we've been sharing with you, that all of this is the way it needs to happen. It needs to happen in a particular way in order for balance to be restored. And you will understand why balance is not balanced today. Right this moment, we have countries that are fueling other countries simply to kill people. It's just like a killing machine. And to call ourselves a civilized world or a civilized country, and yet have deliberately take these barbaric actions against other human beings and other forms of life is unacceptable. And therefore, there is a moment in time because the whole thing universally follows the principles of Hukam. And the principles of Hukam are intrinsically based on compassion as the underlying substrate for the good of all. So, for the good of all. Not human beings, but just all existence. And therefore, existence will always unfold in order to create a balance. Of course, within the Western worldview, we have such corruption in the way we think that we feel death is the end of everything. We favor success and we don't want failure. We want youth, but we don't want old age. We prize materialism, we prize status, prestige, titles over character, over compassion. You may have heard that the USA is been urging countries not to assist Syrians with the earthquake simply because uh, of their political issues. So when compassion becomes a crime, the balance has to be restored. And so, what we are seeing right this moment, and what we are continually going to see, is this collapse. It's systematic falling and failing. So something will fail and fall. So you will begin to hear, and you are just type in right now, bank runs, and already in the USA, some of the smaller banks, there are people lining up for the bank run tomorrow. So these days are unprecedented. And what happens in the kind of capitalist hubs of the world, particularly London, USA, some of the main centers, you will find that it has repercussions everywhere. And therefore, important to ensure that things may become quite significantly serious over the next 6 months as we move towards summer and autumn of this year. So while that may be a rather that is the way things are. There is no good or bad about it. The important thing is that all of us, you, me, and everyone, have this phenomenal opportunity right this moment to actually contribute to the general harmony. So if we add a harmony for ourselves, it contributes to the greater harmony of the world. The world is not, or you and I are not these objects separated from each other. We are effectively the expression of the same thing, all of us being expressed uniquely, but of the same essence. Be it the tree, be it the cat, be it the dog, be it the earthworm, be it you or anyone else for that matter. And this illusion that we get into that I am a separate self is the disease of the world, which is now coming to terms. So as we go along over the next few months, you will find one of the things that will begin to dawn on most of us is the fact that there is very little control that one has in terms of what is happening and what is unfolding in the background. And when I say with the background, what do I mean? I mean all the things where the sun energy has changed, where the cosmic kind of radiation that we are hit with has changed, has influenced things. The structure of the sun is starting to change. The magnetic changes on the earth are starting to wobble. The earth's resonance field is affected. And because our worldview is constrained and we don't see the world as this ocean of electromagnetic fields, all of which dancing with one another, all of which creating wonderful patterns. That when one particular field is out of sync, it affects all that's around us. So, while all this is happening, what can you do? Well, the first thing you can do is to find harmony for yourself. In finding harmony for yourself, you are also creating new possibilities and you are also not adding to the continuous discoherence of the electromagnetic fields because everyone is becoming a little bit more anxious, a little bit more jumpy, and with all the banking situations around the corner, you will find that the whole thing becomes really, really very suddenly a whole new crisis to deal with. So there were three words that we used for March: turmoil, chaos, crisis. And all of this is marching us into a world where things begin to feel surreal, not just out there, but already people are starting to report experiences where they feel slightly disorientated, sometimes for some time, maybe a few moments, but sometimes maybe even for half a day or a day. A kind of I'm here, but I'm not here kind of space. And again, this isn't that you're ill or anything like that. This is, as we said months ago, that there are these energetic peaks that come and go, come and go. And at this moment, like it's been going on for a while, it is peaking. It has not subsided yet. So these peaks come and hit every individual in different ways, and therefore no one is exempt from this. No one is exempt from this. The difference is the severity of the change for individuals depending on which country and which community and groups that they're part of. So as we add harmony to ourselves, whether it's for a moment or a minute, that EM stuff, that whole harmony um, impact on each and every one of your cells, all 100 trillion of them, all the water structure within you, and then the whole energetic field, electromagnetic field, all of this contributes. It acts like a ripple. It spreads, and the more we do it for ourselves, the more we will find that it affects those around us. And if one was to integrate with this a sound like a mantra, but it has to be genuine, it has to be provided by those who have kind of cultivated its essence or its creative cosmic consciousness or whatever you want to call it. And there are quite a few mantras out there, but if one was to use mantra within the meditation, that adds yet more vibration, which is the sound, and that's the physical bit, and the frequencies within our water, within the cells begin to shift. The structure of the water molecule begin to change. Everything vibrates at a different level, changing the whole frequency. The kind of science is already there, but it depends on your worldview and how you see existence. And once you begin to recognize existence as this fluid space, like an ocean, which I describe often, like an ocean of consciousness, but it's not homogeneous. It's not the same. And depending on the vibration, this consciousness manifests itself in many, 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 many different ways. And in terms of life forms, 8.4 million life forms according to the ancient Hindu worldview. Species, but these are not your Linnaeus classification species. This is beyond that. This also includes things that exist in different frequencies, dimensional space, which, like for example, 3D can see 2D and 1D, but not 4D, whereas 4D can see 3D, 2D, and 1D. So depending on which frequency and which dimension that one is in, and by dimension, I mean the state of consciousness which receives information from that frequency, right? So you change your radio station. As you change your frequency, as the frequency changes, you begin to tap into different information fields. Remember that the whole existence, universe, consciousness, information field, dielectric magnetism, and electricity, that is the energetic space that we all occupy. Akashic, meaning the ethereal space that we all occupy, which is a whole new way of looking at space. Anyway, so once we have a worldview that engages in all of that, then we can make a lot of sense in terms of what we can do, which is why you will notice that it only took one Christ, it only took one Buddha, it only took one Nanak, one Kabir, one Ramdev, one Ravidas, one Balmiki, one Moses, just the one, just the one Buddha, just the one to change what needed to change. So each one of us can take a role and play a role in it. And the role begins with first working with the mind, allowing the mind to subside a little bit, stepping into our subtle space, our awareness, sitting in our awareness, and then if we can, listening to the breath in our awareness. And if we can hold that space for a while, it will allow the whole body to restore its balance, the EM field to increase, and just the body to and the mind to restore, regain, and maintain good health and well-being. So, without any further ado, we will go into our meditation and begin with first just sitting and just taking a moment to set the intention. And the intention is nothing complicate it, simply to be present. And in order to be present, we need to focus our attention. So our intention is to be present. And in order to be present, we need to have our attention, our focus, our awareness. We need to bring this to that which is taking place in the present moment. So there is no past and there is no future. There is simply now. And even to call it the present gives it a dimension that it's something that is real. The present moment is always fluid. It's always moving. But it's always now and it's always eternal. So the things that we can focus on are our breath. So just bring your focus now just beneath your nose. Allow your breath to move in, allow your breath to move out without trying to control it. Notice that the breath you breathe can only be taken in or exhaled from the air that's in front of you. In other words, you are embodied and embedded in the here and now. In fact, if one was to describe ourselves, the only way you can describe yourself is here and now. Awareness. The ground beneath you is the only ground that can hold you at this moment. The environment around you, whether it's warm or cold, is the only place that you can be. So it's to locate ourselves. Breathing in, bring your focus now to your whole body as best as you can. And just take a moment to notice anything that's dominant in the body, like a tightness, an itch, an ache, a pain. Because we take note of these things. When we are not in pain, there's nothing to distract us, nothing to draw the attention. So take a moment, scanning yourself from the top of your head all the way down, looking for anything that draws your attention. Notice your posture. And again, just as you notice your posture, how does the body feel in itself? Does it feel tired? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Does it feel low in energy? Or does it feel comfortable? Are you comfortable in your body at the moment? Is your body comfortable? Yeah, nothing distressing it. No pain, no ache, no tightness, no itch. Bringing your focus now to the seat you're on. And again, we allow our body to hold, to be held. We allow it to soften. We allow our weight to be held with whatever we're sitting on. And if you do that, you will notice that you're not going to go anywhere. In fact, You are so embedded in the present moment, in the present location, that you can't be anywhere else, held in place. Notice there are sensations where the body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. From those sensations, you move your focus upwards and begin to notice your hips. And then as you breathe out, you begin to bring this focus down your thighs, moving towards your knees. From your knees, you begin to move this focus down, scanning the calf muscle, scanning the shin. Take your time, gently moving down to your ankle. From your ankles, notice your feet. Gently bringing your focus to the soles of your feet. Bring your focus back to the seat you're on. Notice how well you're held in place. Notice that the back is straight and upright. And then as you breathe in, you bring your focus up your lower back, moving gently towards the middle back. Again, you're just scanning for sensations, remember that. From your middle back, you move up to your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. Allow them to soften a bit. And then as you breathe out, you bring your focus from your shoulders down to your elbows. From your elbows, you bring it down to your wrists. Notice the palms of your hands. And then notice the fingers of your hands. See if you can bring your focus to the nails on your fingers. The awareness can be focused anywhere. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your eyes. Notice how gently your eyes are closed. Notice the sensations around your eyes. Behind your eyes. Notice the darkness. Awareness. Awareness of the back of your eyelids. Awareness that you can see darkness. Awareness that you have awareness. Or you are awareness. And then as you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften, gently bringing your focus to your mouth. Notice your tongue. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth, on the inside cheeks. Allow your tongue to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And then as you breathe out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in. Once again, notice your body as best as you can. Anything draw your attention? Simply locate it. Next breath in, bring your focus to your inner space, to your thoughts, and to how you're feeling. Let's begin with your mental space. Do you feel alert or do you feel drowsy? Do you feel present? Are you present or are you distracted? And then bringing your focus to your chest. And here, just noticing the movement of the chest in rhythm with the breath. Next breath in, bring your focus a bit deeper into yourself, right into the very center of your chest, very center of your heart. And hold your focus there. Notice how you're feeling right now. Comfortable, settled, or uncomfortable, unsettled. State of suffering or a state of non-suffering. Sukh or both. Is this moment pleasant or is this moment difficult to endure? And on your next breath out, you begin to listen to all the sounds around you. And allow your awareness to simply follow the sound of this bell. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch your breath. Stay with your breath. Watching the in-breath coming in, watching the out-breath coming out. Now to occupy the mind, as the breath comes in, mentally you're going to say the sound so. And as the breath goes out, you're going to say the word hum. Breathing in, so. Breathing out, hum. And the sound lasts as long as the breath. And as you begin to recite the so and the hum within yourself, make sure you're listening. Stay with your breath. And stay with your mantra. Now bring your focus to your breath and begin to listen to your breath. Listening to the in-breath, listening to the out-breath, as best as you can. Remember, you're listening to your breath. The breath has a natural mantra. And the more intently you listen to your breath, the more clear the mantra will become. The sound as the breath moves in, and the sound the breath moves out. In your breath, listening to the in-breath, listening to the out-breath. Allow the sound of the bell to take you deep into the silence. Still listening to the breath. Still listening to the breath. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness to include your whole body. Taking a few moments to notice your experience. If you feel still, notice the stillness. If it feels peaceful, notice the peace. Notice you're still in the same chair you began with, the same seat, holding you in place. Sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. Notice your hips. Allow this awareness to move down your thighs, gently bringing our focus back into the body. From our knees, we move down, scanning the calf, the shin, moving towards the knee, the ankle, from the knee to the ankle. Notice your feet, and then gently bringing your focus to the soles of your feet. Once again, coming back to the seat you're on, notice the back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are comfortable, relaxed. Your eyes are closed, your mouth is closed, and your face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to the breath and sitting in silence with your breath. Just a few moments. Taking some time to appreciate this time you've taken for yourself. Add it to the peace of the world. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently open your mouth. Take your time.